The majority of unreached peoples in the world today live in oral cultures. They pass on their cultural values, history, and traditions in the form of stories, dance, and drama. Christians love to distribute Bibles and hand out tracts on the mission field. But even in highly literate countries, not many non-Christians will read through a tract or do more than just glance at a Bible before putting it away on a shelf. And our Western, logical, ordered, abstract way of thinking, teaching, and preaching is not only foreign to people in oral cultures, but makes little sense to them. Oral cultures think and learn in much more concrete, relevant-to-life ways.
One very effective way of reaching oral cultures is to use Bible stories. Stories communicate the truths of God's Word in a way that is easily understood and relevant to daily life. And stories communicate well with people everywhere, educated or uneducated.
Muslims have already heard about Adam, Noah, Moses, Abraham, David, and Jesus from the Quran. Stories from the Bible give us a way to establish common ground and then to lead them step by step to a true understanding of who Jesus is and what he has done for us.
We just returned from conducting a School of Storying workshop in Togo, West Africa. The purpose of the 5-week School of Storying is to create a set of 42 stories in a local language. In Togo, the stories were created in Tem, the language of an unreached Muslim people group.
The goal is to prepare stories that are biblically accurate, easy for people to understand, remember, and retell, and told in a way that is readily received in that culture. The stories cover from Genesis to Revelation, with the main emphasis on the birth, teaching and miracles, death, and resurrection of Jesus.
The workshop involves 20 believers who speak the target language as their mother tongue. The story crafters are divided into 6 groups of 3. The process of preparing the stories is rigorous. After the stories are prepared, they are checked with non-Christians to be sure that they're understandable and easy to retell. As a final check, stories are translated into English by a non-Christian translator so we can check accuracy to the Bible.
It takes a whole week for each group to create their first story. The 2nd through the 4th weeks, each group prepares 2 stories a week.
West Africa is unlike anything we know in the States.
Most of the roads are dirt, orange dirt. Only the major roads and highways are paved. Motorcycles are by far the preferred mode of transportation, and motorcycles are very versatile.
There are only small corner grocery stores in Sokodir where we lived for 5 weeks. Most people do their shopping at roadside stalls and at the downtown market. Meals consist of a huge serving of some refined carbohydrate with a big serving spoonful of some type of sauce. We've had spaghetti, pounded yams, couscous, and pat, a very thick, sticky white porridge made out of refined corn or millet. The best, by far, was rice boiled with black-eyed peas. The sauce is usually tomato and onion, or slimy boiled okra leaves, usually with a couple of small sardine-like fish, or half a small chicken wing.
All the local furniture is made from teak. Even the tin-roof huts have frames made from teak. In Togo, teak trees grow like pine trees grow in many parts of the U.S.
West African goats are tiny, especially the baby ones, who are really cute as well. And they provide a good source of entertainment.
As a part of the School of Storying, participants start storytelling groups for non-Christians in the surrounding community and start story fellowship groups for Christians.
In a story fellowship group, people meet each week in a home to pray and sing praise to God, listen to a Bible story, discover the truths that it teaches, then share how it applies to their lives. Group members learn the story so they can retell it to family, friends, and neighbors. Story fellowship groups form a strong foundation for starting new churches.
As they prepare stories, Participants also learn how to use the stories for evangelism and Bible teaching. The last week at the School of Storying is multiplication training. Using stories from the book of Acts that were prepared by the story crafters, we conduct Bible discussions to bring out principles of evangelism, discipleship, church planting, and church leadership.
After the School of Storying, the trainees return to their home areas to use the stories in ministry and train fellow believers to use the stories. The School of Storying graduation included a storytelling festival. The trainees spent hours preparing for the festival. They told 18 of the 42 stories they had prepared and sang and danced to several songs that they had prepared to go along with the stories. And they also presented dramas based on 2 of the stories.
The venue was the front yard of the training center. The stage was a 4-car carport at the side of the yard, and the audience sat in plastic chairs, sheltered from the sun by a big orange tarp.
After the graduation, everyone was served a meal, conveniently dished out beforehand in disposable containers, with a soft drink, which are still sold in returnable glass bottles.
We were privileged to take part in a story development workshop in India earlier this year, and a workshop in Benin, West Africa, 2 years ago.
After we got back from Togo, we were very excited to hear that we've been invited to return to Africa in January to conduct a School of Storying in Benin for Hausa, a language spoken by many Muslim people groups across West Africa.
And we are praying that we will be able to conduct a story development workshop in Georgia in the spring. We will prepare stories in the language of the largest Muslim people group in the Caucasus.
We are very thankful to the Lord for the opportunity to be involved in helping take His story to many unreached peoples.
Please pray with us that the Lord would provide everything needed for the projects in Benin and Georgia, and that the workshop in Georgia would open doors to prepare Bible stories for many more unreached Muslim people groups in the former Soviet Union.
We also ask you to pray that the Lord will touch the hearts of Christians in this country to support this vital ministry that is taking the gospel to unreached peoples.
Please pray, too, for more and more churches in Africa, Asia, and the former Soviet Union to join in sharing God's story with the unreached around them. And pray for the Lord to open the hearts of people to understand who Jesus really is and turn and follow Him.